Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to a Challenger Spectate, and I'm actually recording this. I don't know if I'm at all more tanned, but I'm back from vacation. I was actually planning, today is Sunday, you're getting this as today's second video. I was planning on doing a stream today, because I actually don't have any content. That's why I'm recording this for tonight. But unfortunately, little Miss Maya has got fleas, so we've actually been having to deal with that, washing everything, and I'm doing a quick Challenger Spectate, so you have a second video tonight, and then I'll be back properly tomorrow. So who are we watching? I believe right now this player may be rank 1 or in the top 3 in Challenger, and the title of the video is probably something like, is LeBlanc still a problem? Now it depends your opinion, obviously. And you know, it's funny that I've been away for a week, there's been a patch, but obviously this is a up-to-date game, it's still being played. So LeBlanc mid with fleet footwork, my god, my head's gone blank, but the static shiv rush, etc. It's been around for maybe what, a month now. It has technically been nerfed, but it is still very, very popular. And is it healthy is something that I'd like to kind of ask you guys to give your opinion on. Because in essence, one of the arguments that a lot of people have always said about modern items in League is items in the game shouldn't cover off innate champion weaknesses. And that is something that has been a growing thing in the last few seasons of League. There are rumors there's going to be a really big item update this upcoming preseason. Mythics apparently are going to go away, and maybe they're going to like kind of tone down what items can do. I hope this is true. Because in essence, why is the LeBlanc such a problem? Even though it's been nerfed, why is it still popular? Why is it still very good in solo queue? And basically, for those that don't really get it, LeBlanc has always been a very good solo queue champion. Always. She's basically designed as a solo queue champion. She's designed as a lane bully. She can roam. She has mobility. She's got good damage. Her weakness has always been lane control. Her lane control is always bad. Because basically, with LeBlanc, she has no easy wave clear. That usually wave clear equals lane control, right? You can manipulate the wave easy if your wave clear is high, thus aiding to your control in the game. Roam already happening. Early flash also doesn't get the kill, but gets a Varus flash, who's an immobile AD carry. LeBlanc herself, not immobile, so it's a worthwhile trade. But basically what the Static Shiv build does is it blocks off one of, well, the major weakness of LeBlanc. Her major absolute weakness is wave clear. She can't wave clear enough to either go roam without being punished all the time, or she has to really decide, am I going to use my spells to wave clear, like her W, and a lot of the time if you want proper wave clear, LeBlanc historically had to use her W and then her ultimate W, so that's a big cooldown to further wave clear the wave. What the Static Shiv build does is it gives her that wave clear. It blocks off the vast majority of why LeBlanc has struggled throughout the years. Really nice chain, by the way. That was an insane hit. Level 2 Karma Roam, very peculiar. LeBlanc lands her first kill. Lee Sin in the area, though, probably going to pick up his kill. Cassiopeia Dot does get it, and there will be a trade of kills overall. Lee Sin, I would say, shouldn't go for that. He might, and he is. I would not have gone for that if I was that Lee Sin, and he's now suffered the consequences. But now Riven top lane is roaming, and she might actually eventually end up with a double kill. Never mind. LeBlanc has TP, she teleports and gets the kill. But you can see Riven. Why is Riven there, by the way? Because she's against a Gnar. Yes, technically Riven is good against Gnar. Gnar is actually kind of bad. Anything that can absolute all in, Gnar sucks against, because in very high rating, they'll just time their all in when he's mini form and they'll beat him every time. But it's frustrating for a Riven to lane against a Gnar if he just goes really safe. And you can see he's bought a Cull. If he's bought a Cull, he's going to play really safe, and he's just focusing on farming. So that LeBlanc is going to get frustrated. Therefore, okay, I'll go roam. So that's why LeBlanc has shown up. Going back onto the point of LeBlanc, should an item build basically cover off the major weakness of a champion? I believe no, it shouldn't, because every champion has strengths and weaknesses, and kind of the introduction of stronger items. Really nice gank by Naught, and you can see how high damage Cassiopeia has, by the way. It ain't bad. But because of these items that are basically covering off more and more weaknesses of champions, it kind of it blends the line of what's more important, the champion you're playing or the items you're building. And to me, champions should always be more important than items. But in the last couple of years, yeah, that line is becoming very, very blurry. You know, even, you know, it's controversial, but they got rid of Prowler's Claw because it was doing basically the same thing. Immobile champions that shouldn't have a crazy mobility, it was giving them that mobility. And obviously, Gale Force is still in the game, and that's still doing it. You know, Jhin, I guess, is one of the biggest champions that it's always been tied to. Jhin is stupidly immobile. It's literally his design. His whole ultimate is about standing still and firing long bullets. Yet he can have an item that gives him mobility. So let me know what you think. I think the majority of people that I've had this rough conversation with is in a very similar mindset of it shouldn't really cover off these weaknesses as much. And maybe Riot is starting to think the same. And it's taken a few years. Meanwhile, another gank. You can see Riven, by the way, just appeared around here. So she's looking for another roam. Look, there's the Riven. And that, again, is probably from a place of frustration. Oh, I cannot kill this Gnar. He's playing too safe. And this is one of the other points of LeBlanc. And this, by the way, has nothing to do with the AD build. This is just a strength of LeBlanc. She's so quick to help situations. That's always been a strength of LeBlanc, and that's why she's always been known as a good solo queue champion, because majority of mid laners cannot get to the action as quick as a LeBlanc can. So that's why, you know, she's always been known for the solo queue prowess. But it's the added new updated build that might be a little bit unhealthy. So Gnar, by the way, does get killed in the end. LeBlanc also gets killed. Big shutdown for Varus. But yeah, you just saw Gnar got killed by Riven. I've said that from the beginning. Gnar is terrible as a champion nowadays. Has been weak for a long time. I'm sure maybe he's played in pro play, but you also have to, you know, get it all the time. I still get it even on stream when people go, no, but you say that champion's bad, but he's played in pro play. Pro play is basically a different game to solo queue. Pro play, and I don't watch a lot of it. I tune in very, very occasionally if I've got nothing to watch. They play like absolute wimps for the most part. So something like Gnar isn't bad in pro play because if everyone plays like a wimp, he kind of gets away with having a really bad 1v1 experience. But in solo queue, where majority of people are playing very aggressive and very all-in, well, she was just waiting in a bush. Yeah, that's where obviously Gnar's going to struggle more because it's all about full-out aggression in solo queue. And typically a lot of 1v1s. So the enemy team is just kind of getting annihilated. You could see that they were... Well, Cassiopeia was waiting in a bush. So the enemy team was thinking about trying to, I guess, lay a trap. And again, Cassiopeia, good damage, but not enough to kill the LeBlanc. You know, you could even argue Cassiopeia... I'm seeing more of her. And I think a big reason you're seeing Cassiopeia more is she is kind of a natural counter to LeBlanc. She has the W, and a lot of this strength of LeBlanc is her mobility. And if Cassiopeia gets her W down, it means LeBlanc cannot press W. She cannot use movement-based abilities. I would say this Karma is not respecting, and Riven gets another solo kill, as kind of expected, as mentioned. The Karma is 0-5. She keeps putting herself in situations she really shouldn't when she's really behind. She's level 4 right now. LeBlanc is double level the Karma. They're going to go for a Riven. Really nice chain. You can see one thing, you know, we've not specifically spoken about is the player who's playing right now. Very clean. You know, even though I think the build is unhealthy, you cannot take away if they play it good. This player is playing it good. Every single chain they are practically landing. They're landing really awkward ones also. Karma does get the kill. She trades another kill, but technically worth it for Karma because she gets herself a shutdown. Not sure if you guys also saw it, but Varus did pick himself up a solo kill on the Ezreal also. But yeah. So one thing you can do for me, let me know in the comments your opinion about should item builds cover off pure weaknesses of champions. I imagine most people think no. But then also, what other examples can you think of? Are there any other examples of an item build for a champion that covers off their weakness so much. I think LeBlanc probably now is the biggest example of this, because again, it just gives her wave clear when, yes, she has wave clear, but she has to decide what she's doing. LeBlanc, like historically, again, as mentioned, either she has wave clear by using her double W basically only on minions, another kill, this poor Cassiopeia, or she doesn't have wave clear and then can kill champions potentially, but then there's minions everywhere and she gets out farmed. She's out farming a Cassiopeia, she's also killing a Cassiopeia. There's no negative. And that's where sometimes I struggle. If an item build covers off your weakness, your major weakness as a champion, and there literally is no negative, that's not healthy for the game. You know, just flat out, that cannot be healthy for League. So, I don't know. But let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any other builds that you would put in this similar category. LeBlanc teleport bot lane, again, unfortunately, it is still bugged, the replay system, so we can't see the teleports happen when they are. And again, another advantage of this build for LeBlanc, because how innate strong the trade potential of it is, with auto attacks and mages are quite weak to auto attacks early, she can take teleport, and then she can roam even with teleport. Like, that's the thing. Again, another not negative, that's only a positive, because normally, historically, LeBlanc always had to take Ignite to try and get those solo kills. They'd sacrifice farm, and they'd be all in for kills. They don't even have to do that now. So, Gnar, by the way, did get a kill on the Riven. I don't know if you guys just saw, but yeah, Lee Sin then killed the Gnar. That can sometimes happen, and you'd be like, but, you know, Gnar should be losing to Riven. It can. Gnar is obviously a ranged champion for the most part. He probably poked Riven down, and Riven probably went for a bad engage, knowing, oh, my jungle is nearby, I'll go for an engage, we'll kill him easily, and then Gnar probably got the kill just before the Lee Sin could actually have done anything. Happens all the time. It's that kind of extra confidence. Oh, this karma's toxic. It's that extra confidence having a jungler nearby gives you. And I have no idea why this karma's being toxic. They're still level 5, which is pathetic. They're 2 and 6 feeding the whole game, and they're being toxic to the Lee Sin. Again, it just shows, and I've always said it, it's part of the reason I like doing challenge spectates. We're watching the peak of Challenger in this game. It is not that much different to the rest of solo queue. So what you just saw there was really smart play by blue team. They knew, I can guarantee they knew that Blanc was here. So the Lee Sin, he just let that happen. Didn't really react to it much. Cassiopeia, by the way, yes, flashed over the wall and ulted and W'd, so she couldn't W away the LeBlanc. That's kind of a bait. They knew LeBlanc was going to go for that, and they waited it out, and they got a really nice kill. So good play by the Cassio. Shows that her mental is still there. She's still, you know, even though at the time she was 0-5, she still mentally is there enough to look for plays. And that's what I'd always say to people in solo queue. Try to always be mentally strong enough that even if you're having a bad game, and you will have a bad game, we all do, you're not making only bad plays from then on. You can still look for that good play. You just have to have a clear mental about it. Because there are a lot of League players, and I'm sure we've experienced them all, that they are 0-3, 0-4, they're dying a lot, and nothing positive happens for the rest of their game. Their mental is so gone that they're not thinking clearly of, oh, I can make a play now. They're just not thinking about it. They're just like, oh, I've had a bad game, oh, it sucks, whatever, or my team's bad, whatever they want to say. Their mental has gone beyond trying to play good. Try always to play good. So Riven gets killed, by the way. LeBlanc, again, can cover so much distance so fast. And again, another benefit of the champion. She's an assassin mage, similar to Ahri in many respects. So, you know, half the time you can't even get away from a LeBlanc if she wants to kill you. So they're going to go for the Lee Sin, does go down. It is worth mentioning, by the way, is still maxing W. W is still the natural spell for LeBlanc to max. Then maxing Q, then maxing Chain. The Chain is only realistically there for CC. So you land the Chain, gives you a few extra, especially auto attacks with the Static Shiv build. But yeah, this build is still incredibly strong. I think watching this, it's given that impression. And yes, we've had a bit of jungle help from a Nocturne. But also, Cassiopeia's had some people show up, but LeBlanc's just played well against it, all being simply too strong. And LeBlanc has still died, but has that just absolute confidence, that momentum to continue going for plays. And this is the point that I'd also, and I haven't really mentioned it yet, of another strength of this build that adds to, in my mind, to being a bit unhealthy. You can play this build two different ways, and I've experienced both. You know, I played this build a few times myself. Then I was like, kind of like, it's not really healthy for the game, so I stopped playing it, but I've played against it a lot. And what I would say, one of the big things that frustrates me is this build, as you know, you've seen this game, can go really aggressive and go for kills, and it's really good at going for kills. But in the same respect, it can also be really passive. When she gets Static Shiv, she can just sit back and just, look at that, look at this, boom, double kill, crazy. She can just play passive. You know, if you get an early double, triple kill or whatever, no matter what you're playing, you're like, right, I've got the advantage over this LeBlanc, I'm gonna kill her in lane. It's really hard to kill a LeBlanc in lane because they just W in, Static Shiv the wave, W back before you can do anything, and you're like, well, I can't even kill her anyway. You know, you only realistically can kill a LeBlanc if they're going aggressive on you, and you either outplay them or just outdamage them. But if they decide, I'm not fighting, how are you going to kill a LeBlanc? Realistically, you can't, especially in higher ratings. So it's, some people may mention, by the way, isn't the interaction change between Night Harvester? Yes, so this was something that Riot tried to do to make this a little bit healthier. So this is the original build of the LeBlanc Static Shiv. You may have seen some LeBlancs go Static Shiv, then Ludens. The reason for this is Riot removed the interaction. When this build first emerged, you could W auto attack, and that would proc the Static Shiv, but it would also proc the Night Harvester, just from one, and the Lichbane. Just from one W and auto attack, it procced all of those things. You got all the benefits. That was obviously very unhealthy. So what Riot did was, to proc Night Harvester, you actively need to not just auto attack. You need to actually like use an ability. But it doesn't really change that much, because in the time that LeBlanc can W in, yes, you can auto attack and you want to get the auto attack off for Static Shiv and Lichbane. But to just also press Q, and that's also how I'd imagine you max Q, not E, because E's a skill shot, Q is a point and click. You just have to press Q. So you W, auto attack, press Q on somebody, and then you W back, and that's nearly an untradeable combo for your opponent to do anything about, and it still gives you all the benefits. So that's another thing that you might start seeing. So some, I thought the Nard took that then. Some LeBlancs are going Ludens because it's technically easier to pull off, or more consistent, you could say. But I think the strongest version of the build is this build, still going the Night Harvester. Obviously, the risk of this build is you don't have as much mana, because it's not a mana item. Kind of surprised Lee Sin's going for that. Nocturne ultimates in, going for the Cassiopeia, but then finds a lot of the enemy team, by the way. And don't sleep on Varus's damage. It's actually pretty damn impressive. And also Cassiopeia's, but they are quite far behind. Nars in the area, Riven's up in top lane without teleport. So they had number advantage. And yeah, they managed to do quite well. But Nocturne goes down, Nautilus goes down. But it is a, what, 3-for-2 trade in favor of red team. Riven does get a objective bounty top lane, which isn't bad. Karma, though, look how much damage that was, by the way. Look, that's incredible. I know this Karma's so far behind, so it's probably not that impressive to kill her. But still, like, before LeBlanc realistically landed her chain or anything, that Karma was nearly dead from... Didn't land a W on her, I think. It was a W, auto attack, and Q. That was the big bulk of that damage. And then it was the follow-up E, etc. that got the kill. It's a lot of damage, and I know we're a very fed LeBlanc, etc. Hello, Riven, but still, it's, and one thing is worth mentioning: if ever you find a consistent LeBlanc player doing this build, look through their match history, and I would wager majority of their games you could even kind of laugh if it's kind of like an Evelyn's match history. Majority of a good Evelyn player's match history is crazy KDAs getting fed all the time. LeBlanc is pretty much the same. They get fed in nearly every game because it's so, dare I say, easy for them in the mid lane matchup. They win practically every mid lane matchup in the 1v1. They usually outroam their opponent quite easily because they've either got teleport or they've got the wave clear with Static Shiv. So again, where's the negative? So I know obviously in this commentary I'm probably painting quite a picture of this is quite strong, but it is because I do think it is quite strong. Let me know what you think though in the comments. Would love to hear from you. Obviously do like the video as well. I will probably talk about my actual holiday, by the way, a little bit more in tomorrow's actual recording stream session. But all I'll say is I do feel very relaxed. I don't know if I'm giving that impression, but I'm feeling good, feeling relaxed, feeling happy, but looking forward to get back onto the, getting back on the horse and back on the grind, as it were. And I feel in the headspace now that, yeah, we can climb. And I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. Worth also mentioning, when I logged onto my League of Legends account to do this commentary, I'm not kidding, a little pop-up box of instant feedback back from reports, I had 7 in a row. 7 in a row of those feedback reports. I was like, what? Oh, another benefit, dare I say, I know I've only said this has benefits. Another benefit of this LeBlanc build is incredible at split pushing. Because why wouldn't it be? It's incredible at wave clear. It's an extra AD build, so your auto attacks are doing more than the standard mage. It's really good at split pushing. And one of the other benefits of split pushing is her mobility. So if the enemy team decides, right, let's go kill the split pushing LeBlanc, she has so much mobility to get away. You can't even get the LeBlanc that's split pushing. So yeah, I know I'm painting quite a picture of this LeBlanc, but, dare I say what... I'm open to hear alternatives. If people think, oh no, it's us, you're wrong, it's really weak, let me know how, because I just don't see how it's really weak. I think it's incredibly strong. And the only thing that I would say is LeBlanc historically has always been not an easy champion. This build, I would say, probably makes her easy now. And but still, to land the chains consistently, you need to be good at doing that, and this LeBlanc was very clean. And also, a big thing with LeBlanc, and like a lot of assassins, is your decision making is arguably the hardest part of the champion. When to go in, why are you going in, all of that stuff is usually a bit harder than the actual mechanics of the champion. But there we go, ended 18-4-9, 20 stacks of Magi's, getting the kind of the trifecta of the 3 standard items, the Static Shiv, the Night Harvester, and the Lich Bane. And then from then on, you get, Magi if you want it, Zhonya's if you need it, Death Cap if you want that extra boom damage. But there we go. Let me know what you think down below. First commentary back, felt good. Still got it, I think. Haven't forgotten how to do it. Still know the game, I think, a bit. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm looking forward to make more content for you very soon. Hopefully you enjoyed the content from while I was away. I did actually think it was pretty good content for the most part. But yeah, looking forward to get back on to it tomorrow. But yeah, let me know what you think of all this down below. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Goodbye.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime.